Welcome back to Making a Difference. I'm your host, Angelo Mincey with Foodies Care. Today I have a very special guest. I have a very special guest always, and today is no difference. Today I have Jon Heymann with Heymann Consulting. Pleasure to have you on the stage.
Thank you, Angelo. Appreciate it.
So we was having a little bit of a conversation before we got started. You are a man of a million talents. So let's start from the beginning, work our way from what you were doing, and then work our way to what you're doing now and how we can get involved. So you were in the nonprofit space for a while. Let's talk about that. I'm a nonprofit. You're a nonprofit. We got these similarities. So you already shared that you grew a couple of organizations. Let's start there.
Okay.
What were they and what you do?
Yeah, I was the CEO of Communities in Schools way down in Putnam County, and was blessed to grow that from a bankrupt organization actually to a little over $1 million. And then the local CIS here in Jacksonville invited me to take over, and they were a great thriving organization. I took it over, grew that to $8.2 million cash budget with a lot of people in the schools. It was a fantastic program. We placed real live, full-time people inside 44 schools with after-school programs, tutoring, just all kinds of services. It's still going on today. It's a wonderful organization, Communities in Schools of Jacksonville. Awesome. And then I went from there to the Jacksonville Children's Commission, and they wanted it to grow, so we did, and it became quite large. It grew to a budget of $38 million, and we gave out to numerous fantastic nonprofits in the community, like Boys and Girls Club, Big Brothers Big Sisters, Communities in Schools, Take Stock in Children. There's just so many. Carpenter Shop. There's just so many that we help support and get funded. So that's the kind of work I did. Thank you. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was meaningful. That's why it was fun. Yeah.
And that's what makes a difference on things. I think a lot of times people will get into the nonprofit space thinking maybe it's an easier role. There's thousands of nonprofits that pop up every day. Whether it's from good heart or, ambition for,
Sometimes it's only for money, sadly.
Sometimes it's only for money, right?
Yeah, they think it's easy, like you said, and it isn't easy. It's a business. You got to run it like a business.
Exactly. And, it's not the easiest business. You take a lot of no's. You take a lot of no's in building, for-profit businesses, but nonprofit, you're basically...
Yes, you're right.
And, you get your hand slapped a lot. So you did that successfully, clearly. You scaled a bunch of businesses and you grew them. They're having a great impact. The missions are still thriving today. So that is a sign that you did your job. So you transitioned from there and you're more into the consulting space now, and you're a book writer. So before we get to that book, the consulting, leadership, you shared with me a little bit, that is the aim, that is the mission at this juncture. So Heymann Consulting, what are you doing? Who's your primary target? Who's your audience?
My primary target are the CEOs, the presidents, and their C-suite, the chief operating officers, the chief program officers, whatever terms they have. But I primarily work with the CEO and help them go from just a transactional leader to a transformational leader. Transactional leader will transact the business of the nonprofit. Right. At the direction of the board of directors. They will do what the board has asked them to do, usually according to a strategic plan. I want them to go above that and become transformational. Think of things that nobody else has thought before. Think higher, deeper, brighter than the board thinks, than the staff thinks, than even the community thinks. I love it when organizations create things that were never there before. And when a leader starts to realize their potential to become a transformational leader, the organization changes. But in the meantime, the business of transaction still has to be done. So I help them restructure their organization so all the transactional things that they were occupying their time with are handled by somebody else. Delegation, we call it. But sometimes it's restructuring their whole organization. So that is my main purpose, is go from transactional leadership to transformational leadership and catapult that organization to success.
I love that. I'm a firm believer that the organization is going to live or die based on the leadership.
Absolutely.
If you have poor leadership or leadership that is, they understand their skills and their strengths, but they don't understand their weaknesses, those organizations are they are ticking time bomb to some degree.
Yeah, that's true.
It always comes from the head and it trickles down.
Yeah.
And so yeah, firm believer in that. Strong leadership is it's foundational. I won't say it's a foundation, but it's definitely foundational to having a successful organization. Someone who's focused on the mission, not just the position, and people who are really into what they're preaching, right?
Yeah.
It's like having a pastor on the Sunday and he doesn't believe the message that he's
teaching.
Right. It's not going to go over.
Right. Yeah.
So no, I love that. So then, you've lived this incredible space of helping the community, building nonprofits. You're now in the world of consulting, helping grow the next generation of leaders, and you have a book out that you've written recently, and you're already on pace to write your second book, which, hey, most people haven't wrote a journal, so you're a few steps ahead. Yeah. So what is the book about?
Well, my second one is on leadership, and it talks a lot of bit, if that's a word, on the transforming a leader from transactional to a transformational leader. The second book does. It has lots of ideas in it. I'm not sure when it's going to get published. My first book, which did get published by a traditional publisher, it's not self-published, which I was thrilled with, because most of the time it's hard to find a publisher that will just buy a new book from a new author. But it's called Agonizing Peace, and it is based on my early childhood experience of being sold into slavery in Athens, Greece, and having to work up on the Acropolis at the famous building in the Parthenon and bring rubble back or bring money back from tourists. And we did that in a variety of ways, but we didn't bring enough back to whoever was renting us, and I mean that on purpose, because I don't know who my parents are. I was given up in an orphanage. Actually, it was called an asylum in Athens many years ago, and then rented out or sold to some people, and I do remember them, and I remember what they did to me, and especially if I didn't bring back enough money or rubble. Rubble from the Parthenon can be sold. That's why I mentioned the rubble. It can be sold. It's illegal to take it, but we little kids, we knew how to take it and run fast.
Right.
So it starts with that and builds on this concept that many people have gone through traumatic experiences. I'm not the only one. Some have gone through far worse than I went through. Some have gone through the loss of a child, a 10-month-old I talk about in the book, a 9-year-old boy who died on the operating table. These experiences are awful. They are traumatic. They are excruciating. Can we find peace in the midst of that kind of an experience? And I don't mean the kind of peace that goes, I'm at peace with this. I'm talking about agonizing peace, which is the title of the book. And that's what I talk about throughout the whole book, is can we? And the answer is yes. And I do outline my feelings on gaining peace with God, with ourselves, with others, in the midst of a traumatic experience.
Sounds like an incredible book.
Thank you.
And definitely teaching, valuable life lessons even in this moment. I totally agree. You often hear it said it's not what happens, but how you respond
That's
to
exactly
what it is that's occurred. And, it's easy, I think, just in our human condition, we're quick to go down the hole of why it doesn't work on all the bad things. And we sometimes miss even the good, or some would even say the blessing, in the midst of a difficult time or a stormy season in our lives. And so, all great things. I'm going to have to check out this book once you finish getting it written up. I want my copy signed.
There you go. I'll do that. No problem.
Well, you got a whole lot of things, past, present, and future, and we're excited to see where you're going and what you do next.
Thank you, Angelo.
How do the people find you? How do we how do we connect with you? If we want to use your consulting services, how do we, plug in?
HeymanConsulting.com. HeyMann. One word, HeymanConsulting.com. And you'll find a lot of information, including information on the book. After that, if they wanted to email me directly, they can use my name at yahoo.com, which is Jon, John. Heymann is Heymann. Jon Heymann at yahoo.com.
Perfect. Well, I asked all my guests one question, and it seems like you're the perfect candidate to answer this. But I'm a firm believer that, man, we're supposed to help build our communities. We're supposed to all be invested into one another. Whether you're, someone who's trying to reestablish a home and you're homeless right now, or whether you're someone who has all the resources. What is one thing you want to leave with the people in regards to, generosity? I find that some people think that just because they don't have the money or, maybe the resources to, give in those spaces, that they can't be, philanthropists or generous.
Yeah.
So what would you say to that person?
Everybody has time, talent. They may not have treasure, but they do have the first two. So they could volunteer, and it's important for us to get involved in some nonprofit, because someday, if things don't go well for us, we may be the recipient of that nonprofit's services. So give now, so it will be given unto you.
Amazing. Well, I've been touched. I'm sure you guys have as well. And if you want to see more interviews like this and hear more conversations like this, please check us out at thedailynewsnetwork.com. Until next time, I'm your host, Angelo Mincey with Foodies Care. Have a great day. Foodies Care is a nonprofit organization here started in Jacksonville, Florida. Our mission is to support other nonprofits realize and carry out their missions. We're trying to simplify that process to have a local body that's here on the ground and says, listen, we're going to work with you, we're going to partner with you, we're going to give you the resources that you need to be able to do the work that is needed in this community.